Welcome, this is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. Welcome to Shiva for Senate. Today is an amazing day for the Shiva for Senate campaign. It's a historic day. As you can see right behind me, what you're seeing is a copy of the official nomination papers that were released yesterday at 12 noon. What that means is in Massachusetts, in order for someone like me to get on the ballot to challenge Elizabeth Warren, I have to collect 10,000 signatures. And this is actually a copy of the nomination papers. You notice I'm running as an independent. You have to put your name in the right place in the gray box and a bunch of other details. So that's what we did. Mike Moscow, I'm going to bring up here, is the one who's running our signature campaign. Vanessa will also come up and we'll give you what took place today. But today was a great day because our volunteers work really hard. Everyone's got full-time jobs here. We don't have political consultants on our campaign. Everyone in this campaign is working because they believe in this campaign, and they basically believe that people should declare their independence from both political parties. We distributed, today we went to a great restaurant. By the way, if anyone's interested, comes to Cambridge, you got to go to Life Alive, a phenomenal restaurant done by a great woman entrepreneur and innovator who really created a restaurant where it's non-GMO, organic food, quote-unquote fast food. You get it. It's very nutritious. We were in Cambridge and Mass Ave. She originally started it in Lowell. And when Heidi started this restaurant, it was a new thing. It spread from Lowell, by the way, which is a great city for innovation, and then it came to Cambridge and other places. So we went outside of Life Alive. They were very supportive of us. Obviously, we didn't block any of the entrance going into the restaurant. We distributed tons of flyers, and our key message was that we as a people need to recognize that Elizabeth Warren and Republicans and Democrats are both on the same side. In fact, we distributed these very colorful flyers. Some of you have seen these before. We do them in yellow, we do them in pink, we do them in orange. I don't know if you can see it. Obviously, this is, by the way, it's a green screen behind me. And these flyers basically say Elizabeth Warren is a part of the establishment. Many people did not know that she actually became a Democrat after she faked her way into Harvard. After she did that, she came in. A lot of people were shocked when they found out that she voted yes on the Monsanto Protection Act, that she voted against clear GMO labeling, and she voted to fund pro-Monsanto propaganda. And this blows away the Cambridge residents, who are very smart people, and they realize they've been, Warren is really part of the fake left, and so the other big thing we talked about is the military-industrial academic complex, and I want to take a few moments to talk about that before we get into the nomination. Eisenhower, one of the great presidents of America, Senator Fulbright, one of the great senators, one Republican, one Democrat, really talked to the American people about the insidious nature of what they call the military-industrial academic complex. In fact, Eisenhower called it the military-industrial complex. In version 2.0 of that, Fulbright called it the military-industrial academic complex. And what they talked about was there's a triangle of defense contractors in one part of that triangle, another part of the academic elite organizations like Harvard, and then the big industrial companies, agro-biotech companies, Wall Street, the banks, who form a triangle, and this group works in collusion as the establishment against you and I. And when you fundamentally look at it, Elizabeth Warren is the face of the military-industrial academic complex. Now, this may be a shock to some of you if you are, quote-unquote, of the left persuasion, but when you really look at it and you look at it factually, Vanessa will share with you that when we distributed this was sort of a shock, the factual shock to some of the people on the left when they find out that here is Warren, who's part of Harvard. Not only is she part of Harvard, she faked her way into Harvard, saying that she was a Native American when she is not. After she got into Harvard, she has yet to ever say anything against Harvard. The fact is Harvard is a $40 billion hedge fund, which I've spoken about. Their $1 to $2 billion overhead operating expenses for running their universities is essentially a front. And this is not rhetoric, I'm telling you. Just look at the numbers and you realize that Harvard is fundamentally a Wall Street hedge fund which runs itself as a front end of a fake university. And I say fake university would be one thing if they just divested that and called themselves a Wall Street hedge fund. It should be Harvard the hedge fund, but they don't do that. They call it Harvard University. The other part of the triangle is the industrial complex. Here is Warren, who gets who has voted for the Monsanto Protection Act, which is one of the biggest agrobiotech companies. The other part of that is she supported, Wall Street and the banks. She purports that she's for the small guy, but when you really look at it, Dodd-Frank devastated 1,200 community banks. So think about that. The big guys, big banks got away with a slap on the wrist. The community banks got devastated with all the regulations that was really supposed to keep the big guys in line, but they got away. And then fundamentally, if you look at it, we talked about this in our morning meeting today, she's on the Armed Services Committee. The military rejected weapon systems, and Warren wrote a letter to Chuck Hagel to put back those weapon systems. So you're talking about someone who has a very clear line from her to warmonger Hillary Clinton. So that's why we call Warren an establishment tool, and we've been hitting hard on Warren about the fact that we call her Monsanto Hontus. We're the ones who called her the fake Indian, and that's what we keep saying, only a real Indian can defeat the fake Indian. Finally, the racist Boston Globe, who, by the way, leaves me out of their articles. I was the first candidate to announce. They put the 3 white candidates in, left me out. Finally, they're coming out to the fact that she's also a fake Indian. And the only reason they're doing this is because they have a credibility issue. That's how the media is. When they completely get exposed, then they'll start talking about relevant things to maintain their credibility. But anyway, today was a great day. As we talked about the nomination papers, we went out, we shared this message with people. Mike, do you want to come up here? Okay. Mike Mosca, come on up, Mike. Mike Mosca you're looking at a real activist here. Mike's been out there fighting. You can look right at the camera, Mike.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the nomination process, Mike, and how we did today.
Okay, so what we need 10,000 certified signatures. What that means is that the signatures have to be certified by the cities and towns, and then those certified signatures go to the Secretary of the Commonwealth, where they're accepted or denied based on a bunch of other issues. What we need to do now in order to get Shiva on the ballot is to get these signatures throughout the Commonwealth, and we're making it much easier than it has been in the past. If you go to shivaforsenate.com and you send in
a request. You just fill out a form.
Yeah. Fill out a form, and what we'll do is we'll come to your home, and what we'll do is we'll have someone come in and provide this nomination sheet to you so that you can sign it, and we'll also give you further information about Shiva's campaign.
I think the key thing is what Mike's saying is, 10,000 signatures on this is no easy task.
Correct.
But we have about, 4,000 volunteers?
Correct.
400 who are ready to sign, but we're going to give you concierge service.
Right.
We want to make it easy on you. We know every one of you is a hard-working American, the ones of you who are not career politicians, and we're going to come to your home. Our volunteers will come and get your signature. We'll give you a bumper sticker and a lawn sign.
Right.
So that's what Mike needs help in.
Right, and the other thing is that we're going to have volunteers going out to the supermarkets and other venues around the state, and what we do is we need some volunteers there as well. And so for you who happen to be at the supermarket, if you see Shiva for Senate nomination sheets, please sign it, and we'll be in touch.
Great, thanks, Mike.
Right.
Mike, let me just keep this. So the other thing, we want to share with you is, what's great about being out there is you get to hear what people are thinking. You see a lot of people, our campaign is basically a very rational campaign. We've come out hard against Monsanto, which some people think is a lefty issue. But we've also come hard against the Paris Accords, not because we want to pollute the world, but fundamentally the Paris Accords is going to make Goldman Sachs and the likes of Al Gore wealthy. It has nothing to do with addressing climate issues. And our campaign, people said, oh, you guys, a bunch of you guys supported Trump. People in Cambridge aren't going to support you. Well, that's not true. People in Cambridge are quite smart, and that's why we tweeted out, when people in Cambridge hear that Elizabeth Warren, Monsanto Hontus, a fake Indian, supported Monsanto, they revolted today, and that's what we saw. You want to come up and share with us? Vanessa is one of our great volunteers. You're in the health industry, so
Yes,
tell us what you experienced today.
So what was great about our campaign today is we went out there, and Shiva's just not running to be a senator. He also wants to listen to what people have to say. So we're out there not only to get these signatures, but also to listen to the constituents. So I had one woman, she said, oh my gosh, I've always hated Warren, but this gives me a real reason to vote against her and a real reason to advocate against her. and for Dr. Shiva instead. And she became a volunteer immediately. These are the kinds of things we want to hear. And also we had a couple, they were saying, oh, I don't understand why the Democrats, they're saying $1,000 or $2,000 is not a lot of money we're getting from the tax breaks. She said, this is a lot of money for us. What are the Democrats, just, unfeeling people? They're all about the rich now. I mean, they were very confused. I mean, this is an amount of money that people could really benefit from, with food, with, taking their kids on a weekend vacation, doing something educational, paying a bill that's been a cloud over their head. So all of these stories, I mean, we reached people all the way out to Ludlow today, New Bedford, all over the
Nearly
state.
10 cities.
This is
At
really,
least 10
really
cities,
an amazing feat today.
Yeah, so anyway, thanks, Vanessa. We have volunteers like Vanessa who work full-time, her husband, Vincent, Frank, we have Richard. We had about 10, 12 people out there on a Saturday. That's what this campaign's about. Again, if you see this yellow sheet, please sign it. We're independents. I think, Vanessa, one of the other things you want to come up here and tell is what was a key statement that got people excited to sign this? Maybe you want to tell them.
One of the key statements today was declaring your independence, and do you want to get an independent on the ballot? Do you want another choice in Massachusetts? And the overwhelming response is yes. We want another choice. We want someone else on the ballot. We're tired of the boxes, Democrat and the Republican. We want something different. We want Dr. Shiva.
Exactly. People don't want the Republicrats anymore. So anyway, Shiva for Senate. Those of you who are outside of Massachusetts and you have friends in Massachusetts, just very easy. Go up to our website, tell them when and where they want us to come pick up their signatures, and Mike's team will send people out there. If you want to volunteer, come to 701 Concord Avenue between 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. during the weekday. Someone will be here. Mike's got a training kit. We've made it really easy. Again, shivaforsenate.com. And again, we're really pleased to be here, and let's all declare our independence from this two-party system, and let's create the power of you and I to create a government for the people, by the people. Thank you very much. Shiva for Senate.